With China playing an ever-increasing role on the global stage, many people have become interested in how it's managed to rise so fast. As the world's largest developing country, in the past 10 years alone, China has seen unprecedented successes. So, how has China managed to pull itself up the global rankings so fast? This is the mountainous village of Dadiba in southwest China. In the past, drought was a major problem there. The village's only lifeline to the outside world was a small country road. It wasn't until 2007 that the village got electricity. But today, not only is Dadiba connected up to the national grid, but all 2,500 of its residents have been lifted out of absolute poverty. It is one of countless rural villages around China that have undergone this miraculous transformation. Here's a satellite image of Guizhou in 2010. And this is the province now. The number of roads has significantly increased. The change is visible to the naked eye, even when looking from space. So has the amount of infrastructure, telecommunications hubs, public schools. The list goes on and on. In the past decade, China has lifted nearly 100 million rural residents out of poverty. So how was it done? By mobilizing all sectors of the society. One of the things the CPC has done is to send hundreds of thousands of its members to every poor village across the country. Party members with agricultural and economic expertise were tasked with finding unique ways for each village to achieve prosperity, making sure to be as flexible and specific to the local conditions as possible. Such targeted actions have reinforced villagers' unwavering determination to follow the party's leadership. And this is another way the poverty battle was won. The Chinese people firmly support the party's leadership because it consistently delivers tangible results for them. Without theoretical innovation and the people's trust in the party's leadership, these amazing results were far from guaranteed. Now, let's take a look upwards and say hello to Wang Yaping, China's first female astronaut.
同学们，你们好。
As she delivers a space class from China's Tiangong space station, Wang and 2 crew members will orbit Earth for 6 months in the station. The Tianhe core module of Tiangong has been orbiting Earth since April 2021. The Chang'e 5 probe returned from the Moon, bringing back samples for scientists to study. On Mars, a rover named Zhurong has been exploring the red planet for months. More than 300 Chinese satellites are serving many functions, from navigation, remote sensing for meteorological and marine monitoring, and communications. China's leap forward in space exploration is an example of how the country has broken new ground over the past decade. Innovative action such as this has laid the foundation for China's steady and sustainable growth. Relying on their own knowledge and persistence, the Chinese people have unleashed their potential and have carried forward scientific development. China's ability to mobilize from a grassroots to a national level is no better demonstrated than in its handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. After the outbreak, the Chinese leadership made sure that the #1 consideration was the safety of the people. Within days, scientific plans were in place to curb the spread of the virus, and the Chinese people were quick to follow them. Emergency hospitals were built at speed, QR codes were used to track people's health status, and mass testing centers were set up across the whole country. From frontline medical workers to taxi drivers, every individual in China has played a role in the battle against the disease. The Chinese people united as a whole against the virus, and as a result, despite being the most populous country in the world, its COVID-19 infection numbers remain among the lowest. China knows the importance of solidarity. And a global crisis must be addressed with a global effort. In the past 2 years, China has dispatched medical teams to countries in Europe, Africa and South Asia. It's donated over 70 million vaccine doses to the WHO's COVAX program and has provided more than 1.7 billion doses of vaccines to more than 100 countries. Humanity shares a common future, and unless you're Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, Earth is our only option as a home, and its health matters to all. As the world's largest developing country, China is making steps to ensure it does its part in protecting nature. Covering an area the size of New York, this gargantuan forest is just a few hundred miles from Beijing. It produces enough oxygen for 2 million people to breathe for a year and helps protect against sandstorms blowing from the north toward the capital. What's more, this particular forest is totally man-made. Around 6 decades ago, this area was dusty and barren. Back then, the temperature could fall as low as -43 degrees Celsius, and there were 300 days plus of frost each year. Completing the transformation from desert to green forest took 3 generations of effort for the people here. They committed to one of China's most challenging but rewarding battles to protect the environment. By achieving what others might think of as impossible, the CPC has proved that China's path does not lie in the footprints of others. It lies alongside the footprints of the Chinese people. Behind these efforts stood the parties and the people's decades-long spirit of standing up for themselves and taking action. So how does the government make sure it knows what is best for the people? It is committed to self-reform. The party has been waging a war against corruption since 2012. By the end of 2019, a total of 414 officials registered with and supervised by the CPC Central Committee had been investigated. In terms of progress and development, there is no one-size-fits-all model. The CPC took a retrospective look at its century-long history in a landmark resolution and summarized 10 unique Chinese experiences. They serve and suit China's civilization state and have prepared China for a better future.